Do you expect the bull run to dominate the rest of 2018?
No, I don't. I think that September is going to be a bearish month for stocks. I think that we'll see, maybe 4 or 5% on the downside. I don't think it's going to be hugely negative, but there are some things that I look at technically that are warning signs that make me think that we're within 3 to 5 days of at least a short-term peak in the market. Those are as follows. So the divergences are interesting. So the U.S. has been doing fine, but you look at Asia, you look at Europe, and they're in far worse shape. And that's important when you see the degree of those divergences. It's rare that we get that wide when the U.S. is doing very, very well and the rest of the world isn't. So that's the first one. The second is that sentiment right now is getting very optimistic. So stocks have been able to avoid any sort of correction despite all the tariff and trade talk and the issues with the political drama that's happened. Stocks have been resilient, and so I don't think that can continue. Everybody's optimistic, but I'm seeing sentiment gauges right now based on investors' intelligence, based on different sentiment polls that I look at, like AAII, that are starting to widen out dramatically, meaning there's many more bulls than bears. And there's about a 40% spread right now between bulls and bears. Historically, that's been a time to sell stocks. So that's the second reason. The third reason is just seasonality. So in the U.S. stock market since 1950, equities have underperformed in midterm election years during the month of September. The Dow Jones typically loses about 1%, and the S&P loses 0.4% going back over the last 65 years. So I think it's very difficult to think that we can continue to go straight up because of basically the sentiment, the seasonality, and the divergences, and we'll see what happens. But I favor taking money off the table and waiting for a pullback before getting involved.